Well, hello and welcome to my channel. You guys know how much of a fan I am of Batman. And I found this really neat sculpt here by James Rogovoy. And I want to use him for a special Batman I have in mind. He's already primed, so I won't have to prime him. I've just got to find a color for his cowl because I'm not using black. Yeah, that's right. I'm not using black. What I have planned is I'm going to put together a Green Lantern Batman. And so I'm going to have to find a good shade of green that'll go ahead and go with my outfit. It looks like it's maybe a Kelly green. So let me go dig in my paints and see what I've got. I'll be right back. Well, I don't have any Citadel paint that's the green I want, but I do have this D&D paint. It's called Treant Green. And I've got to use these guys up because you know what? These paints are like at least 10 years old. Maybe I should wait for this guy to dry. I just washed the head so the paint would stick better, but I see it's still wet in a couple of places. Looks like I'm going to need a couple of coats anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, definitely going to need a couple of coats. Perhaps priming this guy in white would have been a good idea. He was already primed when I got him, in a dark gray. Well, let me get the first coat on at least, and then we'll reevaluate. At this point, if you get a little on the flesh, it's not a big deal. Like I said, we're probably going to do a couple of coats, and this is not a very thick paint anyway, it looks like. I don't even know if a Citadel would work on this one. I mean, as far as one coat. I remember painting my Captain America, and I said something about the cowl. I'm going to take a look at that. I think I said paint the cowl last or first? I can't remember. Well, I'm painting this guy first. Okay, at least the first coat's down, so not too much damage if it's not in the right order. Yeah, it's going to be like 3 or 4 coats. I'm not going to bore you with all that. I'll go ahead and do the 3 or 4 coats off camera. That way you don't have to sit through it all. I'll come back when it looks like it's getting close. Well, I was playing around with the cape, and you know, it's not going to work in that color, so I think I'm going to have to dye it. So let me go ahead and go to my Rit dye and see what I've got. Okay, I have 2 cups of water in there, and then I've got 1/4 cup of this stuff right here, the synthetic peacock green dye. So that's like an eighth of a cup of dye to 1 cup of water. So it's simmering now. I'm going to go ahead and put my cape in there. And it's going to take about a half an hour for it to change color. So I'm going to go ahead and let this simmer, and I'll be back in about a half an hour. All right, that's what he looks like after 4 coats. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint the flesh, and I'm going to come back and I can add another coat. I think I'm going to need 1 more coat. Let me go ahead and start painting on his face. And I'm just painting up to the cowl. You know what? I should have. Yeah, I should have used like a white primer. Because look, it's dark even on the flesh tone. Looks like I'm gonna have to do a couple of flesh tones. Let's see. Trying to find the border here for the cowl and the chin. Yeah, I think I'm going to need a couple of of layers. Well, it gives us a good idea of what it's going to look like at least, right? All right, so that's the first coat. All right, and I'll paint a second coat, probably off camera, and we'll see how it goes, and I'll paint the final coats on camera. Okay, this is after almost an hour, and I actually added another almost half a cup of dye. So I don't know, we'll see how it looks when I'm done, but I'm gonna leave it in there for a little bit longer. Cross your fingers. All right, 5 coats of green paint, 3 coats of flesh paint, and that's where I am. So I think that's probably good. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the eyes now, and I'm gonna paint them black. I'm gonna use this Abaddon black, just because, excuse me, my outfit has that black in it, and I wanna continue that theme throughout the figure, so the eyes are gonna be black. I'm using a very fine-tipped brush for this, because if I make a mistake, it's gonna be hard to correct with that green paint. Boy, this is small. Okay, first eye done. Thankfully, there's a good border there, so you can kind of like feel your way. Oh, let me see if I can get that off real quick. I'm going to try to use a wet brush as an eraser. Looks like I might have gotten to it in time. Cool. Let me get that water off. Okay, and let me finish the rest of the eye. All right, I got those. Let me get my wash out so I can do the wash for his face and his cowl. Okay, for the cowl, I'm gonna use this. It's called a Beal-10 green, and it's a shade. And I'm hoping that I can get into kind of like the recesses of the cowl. See, like right up here at the top. And then in the eye. Just to kind of give it a little depth. And you can see that it's really doing something right there. Go ahead and get it in between the ears too. Might need a little bit more. Wow, that looked pretty good. So I think the cowl's done. Let me go ahead and take a look at the face. I've got a couple of washes here. Let's see, I've got this one, Contrast Gilliman Flesh. I think before I do that though, I am going to paint the lips, and I've got a darker color. It's called, here it is. It's Acadian Flesh Tone. And I'm just gonna draw a line across the lips before I do any shading. Yeah, that looks good. Now let me get my brush out so I can shade a little bit. I'm gonna use a thin brush, and I'm gonna try to use very little. I've been using too much shade lately. Too many, the wash, just laying it on too thick, and it's not doing what I need it to do. So let me try a less is more approach and see what happens. I'm even gonna dilute it a little bit. That's looking pretty good. All right, let me let those dry and take a look at what we've got, and we'll go on from there. You might be done. All right, well, I'll take a look at him, and I think he might be done though. Taking a look at him, I think there's one more thing I can do. I'm going to do a dry brush, and I'm going to do it with this Layer Flayed One Flesh, which is like a very light skin tone. And I'm just going to take a bit on the tip of my brush and get rid of a lot of it. On this case, it's going to be a true dry brush. So I'm going to get rid of like 90% of it, maybe 95. And I'm just going to use what's left as kind of like a highlighter. Okay, yeah, it's really giving me some dimension there on the figure. And I think that's my last step. I think I'm done. I'm gonna go ahead and spray paint this guy with some matte clear enamel and call him. I think he's done. I do like that wash in the mask and the cowl. That looks really good. All right, you know what? Every time I look at this guy, I think there's one more thing I can do. I've got some gloss paint. Let me see if I can find it, and I'm gonna put it in the eyes. All right, let's see. This is called Technical Hard Coat, and it's just like a really cool little gloss. So let me get some on the tip of my brush, and kind of like put it over his eye. Just to give it a glossy appearance. I'm gonna do it with the same thing with the other eye. All right, now I'm gonna call him. Wow, man, this guy looks cool. You know, Batman as a Green Lantern is one of those what if figures that just kind of like intrigues people, I think. You know, what if Batman got the ring? Because he has such tremendous willpower. You know, he would be an unstoppable force if he were a Green Lantern. And so I think that's what it is that kind of like generates all this like enthusiasm for the figure, for the character. And having a figure like this, just, boy, I think it's gonna be a great addition to my Green Lantern collection. It's growing right now. I just have a few figures, but I'm glad I have this guy. You know, he just came out great. You'll notice I gave him a ring similar to what I did with my Kilowog. If you didn't see last week's episode, you can take a look at it. It's just a bling material that I got at Michael's. You know, but boy, he looks great. The boots and the gloves came from Classic TV Toys, of course. You know, this is one of those S-type bodies. So I'm gonna have to get some pins and put them in. I'm gonna have to order those, but you can fit these gloves and the boots on an S-type figure, but I'm gonna have to work out a system with the hand pins and maybe some feet pins so I can get those put together. You know, the one thing that I am kind of like, I wouldn't say disappointed in, but one of the things I wished came out a little bit better was the cape. You know, that Classic TV Toys cape, the white, gives you a lot of options, you know, some opportunities to really do some cool Batman figures, but it just didn't take the dye well. You know, I ended up adding more dye and keeping it much longer than I had planned, you know, over an hour. And that's the best I could do. It's like a very, very pale emerald green. But overall, I think the figure looks fabulous. You know, the outfit though, a while back, if you saw my last video with John Stewart, there was an outfit that, that came with him that was very fragile. And this right here was the upgrade to that. You know, I contacted Mego about a, gosh, it was a while ago. It was a Dr. McCoy figure that was like very, very pale. And I had heard that you could contact them and they'd give you an upgraded body. And that upgraded body would have a little bit more color to the flesh. And so you could swap out the Dr. McCoy figure because he looked like a ghost, right? And when I requested that figure, I guess it was Dr. Mego who, you know, he sent me a package which also included this outfit. And that really was kind of like the impetus for this figure. At first I thought I'd use this outfit for a Hal Jordan or something. But, you know, I'm thinking I'm going to get the Mego Hal Jordan or maybe make a custom with a different outfit. I'd like to have the white gloves and stuff. So that's probably what's going to happen. You'll also notice he has a small little utility belt. Classic TV Toys has these black utility belts. And, you know, it works really well for this figure. You know, not so hard to do either. I mean, if you're looking for kind of an easy custom, this wasn't too bad. You don't have to paint the eyes. You know, the eyes are the hardest part for me. You know, just put some black in there and then that Technicoat gloss. So all in all, really happy with them. And you know what? This may not be the last, well, I know it's not the last Batman lantern I'm going to do. I'm planning to do a yellow lantern, and I have something in my hands here. I'm going to be doing a live stream later on. I don't know, I think we're going to be doing it tonight. And we're going to be painting this guy. I have a, let me put him over here. I don't know if you guys know anything about this figure. This right here is the Black Lantern Batman. Pull up a little bit. And so I'm going to be painting this tonight on my live stream, so I hope you can join us. And I got these really cool monster hands from Classic TV Toys. This head right here came from Vin's Universe. And, you know, I'm thinking that might be a fun custom to do, and I think my next one will probably be a yellow Batman lantern. So I got my figures here. I hope you join us tonight for the live stream. And until next week, you guys stay safe and be cool. And hopefully I see you guys tonight. Bye-bye now.